Hey guys, Happy Camper here, and today I thought we'd do some DCS stuff. I'm quite a big fan of DCS, but it's of course military stuff, and I don't fly it that often because it's mostly fun to fly on, realistic multiplayer servers. There aren't too many of those. Um, but I saw that a mod had come out for the Bell47. Now this is a freeware mod that uses some stuff from the UH1, but other than that it's quite heavily modified, and it flies and looks really well. So I thought I'd jump in and give it a go. I've literally taken off and landed once, flying about 10 feet in the sky um, before I then crashed. But I thought we should take the first real flight together. Um, Now I'll go into the mission editor because I did put down a quick mission. You can hear the background music, it's from Vietnam. It's quite a well-made mod. It's well polished and it looks really good. A lot of positive feedback on it as well. So we'll load up the mission that I made. It's literally not a mission. It's just placing down a Bell47 on an airfield here, and we'll take it out for a flight. So I'll see you in game. Alright, so we're now in game. And as I said, this is going to be the first time flying it, because last time it took off by itself on accident. I think I had my collective reversed, so that's now fixed, and I thought we should get flying now. Quick thing I noticed, we do have a governor, so that's good. That's one less thing to worry about. We don't have to worry too much about sorting out the power ourselves. But I haven't really looked into startup and all of that stuff, so I might get into that a bit later, but for now let's just fly around and have a bit of fun. Alright. Try and sort out that view. Let's take off for the first time here. Let's have a look. Slowly raising collective. Nothing much happening yet. Bit of twitching. Okay. Lights on, line on the skin, and we're up flying. Okay. That's a fairly stable hover. It feels like a helicopter. It's not really, it has random movements to it, but it's very easy to control. It's not just hovering there, but, you have to do stuff, but it's not difficult to control. This is very nice. Alright, let's taxi out here. Actually, no, let's just get flying. I don't really care about taxiing out. So we'll add a bit more collective here. We'll get going. This is very nice. Sound is a bit low, so I might turn that up in just a second, but this is very nice. Flies really well. You can do some awesome missions with this, I bet. Really picks up speed quite fast as well. We can see here on our airspeed, we're already up to 110 knots or so. So it's not bad at all. It's not necessarily slow, so that's quite good. Alright, I think I'll come in and we'll do a landing and see how that works. Now, I'm actually really impressed. Keep in mind, this is a freeware mod, and right now, the textures are a bit bland. You can see there's no actual texture on there. It's just a solid color, but it's really well made. It flies really well. It flies like a helicopter, while you can feel that it's kind of the Huey flight model. It's a lot more nimble. It's a lot more fitted for this very particular helicopter. They have put a lot of work into this for sure. And you get all of this for free. The only thing you have to you have to have the UH1 module. But if you have that, then this is just an amazing, freeware bonus to get. Looks really good. Come down here on the taxiway and we'll try and get into a hover and then land it. So we'll flare it here. It's also got a couple of civilian skins, so that's opens for a bit of civilian stuff in. Ooh, You have to add a lot of collective in this thing for sure. Almost went into the ground. Yeah, see, there's definitely basis for some civilian stuff. Let's try and touch it down here. See how smooth that can be. Bit of rocking back and forward, but not too bad. And we're down. That's very smooth, very nice. Alright, let's have a look. So we got some generator stuff. It's pretty cool. Governor, low RPM stuff. We got a starter, got battery, star generator, inverter, sorry, main generator, a couple of switches that don't work, force trim, hydraulics. And here we got all of our gauges, compass. Don't know what this is, probably fuel gauge, maybe fuel pressure as well. Got oil pressure, altitude, vertical speed, and airspeed, of course. And here we got a clock. Oh, this is our fuel quantity. I don't know. Fuel pressure, maybe. I don't know. Got our lights and a bunch of switches. Don't worry, that's about it. And then a temperature gauge. It's very nice. And up here we got some limits. Don't actually know what this means. Oh, this is frequencies. This is probably frequencies put in there. So this is really nice. We got an ADI. This is a obviously like an add-on ADI, which is pretty cool that he's added that. And you can set that like you want. Very nice. Alright, I think let's fly around a bit more. Let's try and do some landings in on some roofs or something, because this feels really good. Now, there's a bit of a difference between flying DCS and X-Plane. They both have really good flight models, but in DCS you have to use a lot more collective to get off the ground than you do in X-Plane. In X-Plane you have to add maybe a quarter collective, and then you'll be getting light on the skids. Whereas in DCS you'll be adding about half collective and you'll be getting light on the skid. So there's quite a big difference in the amount of collective needed to get going. But other than that, it's not weird switching between the two, which just proves how well made the flight models are. They are, you know, both very realistic. Now, of course, X-Plane actually calculates airflow, but if you have to make a flight model that's based on not actual calculations of the airflow, that's just based on having, you know, some characteristics in there. The DCS flight model is really good at doing helicopters. They really have put a lot of work into it. Adding a lot of collective here, and RPM is definitely getting low. Almost seems like we're very heavy, but then again, this is a very small helicopter, but it's also very underpowered, I would say. It was a very early helicopter and it didn't have the biggest engine, so this might be a challenge because of course we're in a small helicopter, so I think we'll go and land over on this roof instead, because I think we'll hit the small roof there if we touch it down there. A very small, very nimble helicopter, but you can see, you might be able to see in the top right corner, there's a top left corner, sorry, there's a small schematic that shows where I have my cyclic, where I have my throttle, and also where I have my collective. The top left of the bars moving up and down, that's my collective, and you can see how much collective I have in here just to hover it. Very nice. Lowering the collective quite a lot. Very nice. I think this is really cool. I just want to fly around and fly in between buildings and stuff, but I think I'll switch into the civilian skin, and then I might do some auto rotations to see how that works. Might also check out some loadout stuff, but this is definitely worth checking out. If you have the if you have DCS and if you have the UH1 module, then this is gonna be a blast to fly. Look at that. Now you can get this, as I understand, you can get it on both Alpha and on 1.5. So no, you don't need Nevada. You don't need to have the 2.0 of DCS to be able to fly this. I just really do like the Nevada map. Alright, let's go back to the airfield. I kind of think, yeah, we'll just go back and then I'll switch into the civilian skin and and we'll do some auto rotation. Gotta say, it flies really nicely. Let's lower the collective and bleed off some speed here. When we start getting close to the ground and start getting slow, we really have to add in that collective. That's what I've got to keep remembering myself. Keep an eye on that collective bar up in the top left. You can see how much collective I need to add to not go into the ground. So that's definitely a change, but this is really nice. I'll show you guys the outside model as well before we switch into the civilian skin. I believe I took off from over here, so we'll land it here as well. There we go. Really smooth to fly, really nice to fly. Highly recommend this. It's really good. Everything's looking good. Alright, let's have a look at the outside model here. Very nice model. It really looks really high quality. I gotta say, this is phenomenal work. The rotor head also looks very good. Not many complaints at all, if any. Right, I'll switch into the civilian skin and then we'll do some auto rotations. Alright, so we're now here in the Bell47 civilian skin. I gotta say, this looks really good as well. We do have a guy, you know, our pilot inside. He's still in a military uniform, but the civilian skin here is really cool. I want to quickly have a look if I can do the rearm stuff. Ground crew, rearm refuel. Can I put something? No, it doesn't look like I can actually put anything. I think you have to do something special. Oh, I didn't want that actually. I think you have to do something special to actually be able to get that to work. But let's do some auto rotation. So we'll get going here. Slowly add the collective in. Bit of the left pedal to counter that torque. Feel the helicopter, and we're up, and I think we'll take off to the whatever direction this is. This is the north. We'll take off to the north, and then we'll come in to the south for the auto rotation. We'll get going here, and as I said, it's slightly underpowered, or at least we're using a lot of power to get going, so just making sure that our RPMs are still good. They're in the bottom of the green, but they're within the green, and we're pretty good. We'll keep our climb going here, keep that left pedal in, because we're still fairly slow. Keep climb going, 1,000 feet a minute. Then when we get a bit out, we'll do a right hand turn and join final for 1.8 by the looks of things. You have great visibility in this helicopter. That's really what it was made for. And they used it a lot for you know, casualty evacuation and reconnaissance in the Vietnam War. And it's really really quite a remarkable helicopter. Alright, keep the climb going here, and we'll cut the throttle, and hopefully we don't hit the ground too hard, because if you damage the helicopter, it'll crash the entire game. But I can't promise anything, so I think we'll get the throttle out now. Throttle's out, lowering collective. Keeping that nose up. You don't want to get that nose to drop. Keeping a bit of collective here. We're gliding quite far. It's like the glide ratio isn't too bad. Going down on the runway here. And we'll get ready for the flare. So stage 1 of the flare, stage 2, moving into stage 3. Oh! There we go. So we got a bit low, and again you have to add a lot of collective, so I kind of aborted last minute and just leveled out and skidded along the ground. Because it looked like it was a bit too late to do it. It would have probably hit the runway with the tail. But I think we'll do that once more. That was definitely just because I wasn't adding enough collective on final there. So we'll get the RPMs up there in the green, and then we'll get going here again. Let's see how we can really shoot up. It's not too badly powered, you know. We're at quite a fairly high altitude. Well, not that high, I guess, but we're climbing about 2,000 feet a minute, just going straight up. That isn't too bad. All right, head out to the right here, and then we'll come back in and do one more auto rotation. That really did feel good all the way down. I need to remember to add a lot more collective, even when doing the flare, because the collective is so insignificant in the lower part of the collective compared to what I'm used to in XP11. So we'll definitely try that again. Now this is just a stunning helicopter. Let's have a look from the outside. It looks really, really good. I'll say mad credit to the guy who made this. Really nice outside model, really nice flight model. You really do feel like you're in a small, nimble helicopter, and you can still fly, you know, quite fast, which is really nice. Alright. Turning in here, and I think we'll cut the throttle as soon as we level out. I think we'll cut it here. Lower collective, make sure we have that RPM the green, keep that nose up, keep that nose level. Keep a bit of collective in here. We'll keep the RPMs in the bottom of the green. That means when we get into the flare, we'll have a bit of collective to work with, but they will make the RPMs shoot up into the top of the green, which is what we want. Alright. Looking good. You do have quite a good glide ratio when you have this collective in here, just to keep the RPMs in the bottom of the green. You'd really extend your glide quite significantly. So we'll start the flare a bit high here. Quite a long flare sequence as well. And there's our collective. I'll try and get the throttle in there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that was a bit sketchy in the end there. I added too much collective too soon at that point. I think I need to quickly get used to how it's not very significant in the bottom of the collective, but as soon as you raise a bit more collective, it gets a bit sensitive at the top. I might have to play around with some curves, but we got on the ground safely. I had to cut in the throttle just in the end there, just to not drop out of the sky. But I'll set up for another auto rotation because this is really quite fun. Alright, coming in here about 600 feet above the runway, and we'll cut the throttle out. Lower collective, back on the stick, keep that nose up. Very nice. RPMs are good. We'll raise a bit of collective, keep that RPM in the bottom of the green. Really allowed us to play a lot around. Got a good speed as well. Speed showing 65 knots. Coming down here, we'll get a bit of a flare in. Flare step 1, step 2, add collective. And on the ground. I was full left rudder then, and it was just yawing to the right. Nothing to do about that. But that was quite good. It seems like this helicopter really likes to land in the auto rotations with a bit of forward speed, which is just fine. So you want to time it so you don't spin around. That auto rotation could have been bad if I had forward speed, because it could have caused a dynamic rollover. But we were almost at a zero speed or zero airspeed when we landed, so even though we were yawed to the right, it wasn't too bad. Alright, so yeah, this is a really good helicopter. We'll go back and we'll land at the where we took off, but I really do recommend you guys using this. Oh, actually, I think the reason we were yawing so much to the right is because our tail rotor is out. I think we may have hit that on the ground. Let's just have a look from the outside view. I don't know, I mean, tail rotor's still spinning, but doesn't seem like our yaw had too much input. So, getting up here and we're spinning right, now putting in full left yaw. Yaw isn't changing anything, but we aren't spinning too bad. This is probably not procedure, but I think we'll just fly over there. This isn't too bad. We'll get a bit of speed here. Actually, we started over there, so we'll fly over in this direction. Definitely not procedure to fly around without the tail rotor, but it isn't too bad. Doesn't impact the helicopter too much. This is, of course, a very light helicopter, and the engine doesn't seem very powerful, so that would all add to why it doesn't feel so bad with the tail rotor out. So you can actually fly it, you know, decently. Get it down kind of where you want to, even without the tail rotor. So we'll get it facing about west here, and then we'll touch it down. There we go. Not bad, not bad. Alright, well, that was pretty good. I really do enjoy this helicopter. I'm going to fly a lot more of this. Let me guys know, let me know, guys, if you want to see more of DCS on the channel. I know I've mainly done, or only done, X-Plane videos in the past, and I've definitely got some more planned in X-Plane, but let me know if you'd like me to do some more DCS stuff, because it's definitely a great game that pretty much nails helicopters almost as well as X-Plane. Right, well that's been it for the showcase of this mod. So if you guys liked the video, please leave it a like. I'll leave a link to the mod down in the description below, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button to watch more helicopter videos, and until the next video guys, take care.